The warning signs are no longer subtle. Saudi Arabia's economic crisis is entering a dangerous phase.
For decades, Saudi Arabia looked unshakable. But something is shifting beneath the surface.
Oil funded the rise of a nation. But dependence creates risk.
Ambition is accelerating, but so are the costs.
From the desert, a new city is promised. But promises carry enormous cost.
When oil moves unpredictably, the foundation begins to shake.
Borrowing was once rare. Now it is becoming routine.
The cushion that once protected the kingdom is thinning.
A young generation is waiting for opportunity. Expectations are rising faster than the economy can deliver.
Confidence is no longer automatic.
What happens inside Saudi Arabia could reshape the entire region.
Spending continues to rise. Revenues no longer feel guaranteed.
Each new loan buys time. But time is expensive. The world is slowly changing how it powers itself.
In times of uncertainty, control often tightens.
The margin for error is shrinking.
Expectations are rising faster than economic reality.
Delays cost money, and money is no longer unlimited.
Investors are no longer asking how big the opportunity is. They are asking how safe it is.
Saudi Arabia no longer controls the market alone.
The margin for error is shrinking, and time is running out.
Behind closed doors, spending plans are being quietly reduced.
Some of the most ambitious projects are quietly moving slower than planned.
Outwardly, everything appears stable.
The region is watching carefully.
Saudi Arabia stands at a crossroads.
Confidence does not disappear overnight. It fades slowly. The financial cushion that once protected the kingdom is thinning. The world is preparing for a future that depends less on oil.
A moment is approaching where choices can no longer be delayed.
Instability at the center sends shockwaves across the region.
Growth is no longer accelerating. It is slowing.
Every major decision now carries greater risk. Markets respond quickly when uncertainty increases.
Patience has limits.
Every system has a tipping point.
Pressure is no longer isolated. It is systemic.
Each new obligation compounds the risk. When confidence retreats, capital follows.
Oil alone can no longer guarantee stability.
The balance is tightening.
Stability now depends on a delicate balance.
If confidence breaks, markets respond instantly.
Economic strain does not stay confined to balance sheets.
The consequences would not stop at the border.
The path forward will define the kingdom's future.
Moments of tension are followed by moments of reflection.
Adjustments are being made.
Quietly. Carefully.
Growth may continue, but at a slower pace.
Confidence may return, but only gradually.
The outcome is not predetermined. It depends on choices made now.
Diversification is no longer optional. It is essential.
A young population remains the kingdom's greatest strength.
Stability in Saudi Arabia supports stability across the region.
Transformation is a marathon, not a sprint.
The future of Saudi Arabia is still being written. Saudi Arabia is navigating a world where power balances are shifting. Energy remains a tool of diplomacy, Pekins, but it is no longer absolute.
Competition in the region is intensifying.
Economic strength and security commitments remain closely linked.
The next chapter will depend on how strategy meets reality.
Saudi Arabia now balances carefully between competing global powers.
Trade relationships are shifting tide, and so are financial dependencies.
Control over supply still matters the timeline, but it is no longer absolute. Strategic autonomy comes with both opportunity and risk.
Saudi Arabia's future will be shaped not only at home, Kapudinga, but on the global stage. The global order is no longer dominated by a single power. Energy partnerships now shape geopolitical alignments.
Infrastructure investment has become a new arena of rivalry.
Saudi Arabia is hedging its bets in a divided world. In a world defined by rivalry, neutrality itself becomes a strategy.
What happens if oil prices fall sharply and stay low?
Investor confidence could weaken just as quickly. Economic pressure would not stay confined to markets.
The true test of reform comes during periods of stress.
Markets can stabilize as quickly as they fall.
Fiscal discipline strengthens long-term resilience.
A stronger private sector reduces reliance on oil.
Confidence can return when reforms show results.
Stability at home further. Stability at home strengthens confidence abroad.
Reform is most powerful when it is consistent.
Diversification reduces vulnerability over time.
Strategic partnerships expand influence responsibly.
Confidence built slowly is confidence that lasts. Resilience is not the absence of risk poverty, but the ability to adapt.
The coming decade may define the kingdom's economic future.
Reform demands discipline. Retreat carries its own cost.
Its stability shapes the stability of the region.
Transformation rewards patience more than reaction.
Saudi Arabia stands at the center of its own transformation.
The era of relying on one resource is fading.
Reform is a calculated risk, but not a reckless gamble.
Short-term volatility can define long-term success.
Stability requires strength and adaptability.
Global influence now depends on economic credibility.
The region watches carefully.
Markets respond to confidence to form and discipline.
History favors nations that adapt before they are forced to. The next chapter will not be written by oil alone.
The future of Saudi Arabia is not fixed. It will be shaped by discipline, strategy, and resilience.
Transformation is not a moment. It is a legacy in motion.
Sustained reform depends on discipline and accountability.
The consequences of its success, hinder, or failure, will extend far beyond its borders.
Few moments in history offer such a defining choice. The future is unwritten. What defines it will be discipline, strategy, and the courage to adapt.